Is there anything wrong in here? I heard some noise.
No, nothing's wrong. But you can take that back now we finished with it.
I don't see why we have to behave like children.
Nor do I. We have a responsibility here. That is the remarkable thing about democracy, no? That we are, notified by letter to come down here and vote on the guilt or innocence of a person, a man or woman we have never known before. We have nothing to gain or lose by the verdict. No? That is one of the reasons why we are so strong. You should not make it a personal thing, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Why do you think?
We forget. It's good to be reminded.
Well, I'm glad we're going to be civilised about this.
Well, we're still nowhere.
No, we're somewhere. We're getting there. Maybe.
Maybe.
Who's got an idea?
I think we should try another vote on Foreperson.
It's all right with me. Does anyone not want to vote?
Let's vote.
Yeah, let's vote.
Yep, it's all right. Let's do it.
Well, I want an open ballot. I want us to call out our votes. I want to know who stands where.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just. All right. I'm going to vote guilty. Number 2.
Not guilty.
3.
Guilty.
4.
Guilty.
5.
Not guilty.
6.
Not guilty.
7.
Guilty.
8.
Not guilty.
9.
Not guilty.
10.
Guilty.
11.
Not guilty.
12.
Guilty.
That's 6 to 6.
Oh, I don't like that.
6 to 6.
Have a good mind to walk into that courtroom right now and declare a hung jury.
No.
There's no point in this going on anymore.
Well, I'd like to know why you changed your mind. And why you changed your mind. And why you did. 6 of us here think we might be turning a murderer loose on the street. Emotions won't do.
No.
Why?
It seems to me that the young man didn't see the boy run down the stairs. I think it's likely that the old man might have heard someone scream, "I'm going to kill you." Old man dreams sometimes, and if the boy did scream that he was going to kill him, then we have it on the authority of this, maybe down here, that saying "I'm going to kill somebody" doesn't really mean you're going to kill somebody.
Look, why don't we take it into the judge and let the boy take his chances with 12 other jurors? Huh?
6 to 6. I don't think we're ever going to agree on anything.
You're right, and it's got to be unanimous. And you're never going to convince her.
No.
At first I was alone. Now 5 others have a doubt.
You can't ever convince me that there's a doubt, because there isn't. No doubt. I tell you what, maybe we are a hung jury. I mean, it happens sometimes.
We're not going to be a hung jury.
But we are, right now, a perfect balance. Let's take it into the judge.
If there is a reasonable doubt, I don't see it.
There's doubt in my mind.
Maybe we should vote.
What do you mean vote? Oh, not again.
I just want to know, what are we going to vote on?
Are we or aren't we a hung jury?
You mean we vote yes, we are a hung jury, or no, they're not a hung jury?
That's just what I was thinking of.
I don't think we're going to agree on whether or not we're a hung jury.
Yes, sir. We cannot even agree on whether or not to keep the window open.
All right. Why don't we make this one a majority vote? So the majority wins.
Well, so look, if 7 or more of us vote that yes, we are a hung jury, then we take it to the judge and tell him we're a hung jury.
Correct. But if 7 or more of us vote no, then we are not a hung jury and we go on discussing it.
It doesn't seem quite right to me.
I think it's the only solution.
Hey, I agree, it's the only way.
Anything to end this.
Yep.
All right, so are we agreed? 7 or more votes yes, and we take it to the judge.
Okay, well then let's just call our votes out.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Just let me get. Yeah. So hung jury. Okay, I think yes, we are a hung jury. Number 2.
No.
3.
Yes.
4.
Yes.
5.
No.
6.
No.
7.
Yes.
8.
No.
9.
No.
10.
Yes.
11.
No.
12. Yep, the vote is 6 to 6.
We can't even get a majority to decide whether or not we're a hung jury.
I went along with the majority vote on this question. I didn't agree with voting that way, really. And I still don't. So, I'm changing my vote. I say no, we are not a hung jury. I agree that the boy is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but there are some things I want to find out. Those could change their mind.
All right, so that means we are not a hung jury, and we go on.
Good. We go on.
Now, why did you change your mind?
Well, she seems so sure, and she's made a number of good points. While she only gets mad and insults everybody.
Yes, but does the anger and the insult change the guilt of the boy?
That's right.
I mean, he did do it. Are you really going to send a murderer loose on the street just because a juror is angry that she thinks a murderer is being turned loose?
Oh, that's true. There is a doubt.
I don't think so. The track is straight in front of the window. Let's take that point. The old train would have made a low rumbling noise.
That's not what she
No,
said.
the old trains screech as they go around curves. So the old man could have heard a scream, which is high-pitched. And it's housing commission and they have thin walls.
Good. That's it.
What if the old man was wrong about the time it took for him to get to the door, but right about whom he saw? And please remember, there were no fingerprints on this knife. It's summer, gloves appear unlikely.
What more do you want? Listen to this man. He's talking sense.
It would have taken a few seconds to look around the apartment for a cloth, to wipe away all of the fingerprints.
This is a point.
Yes. And should we try this one to see?
Just what are we timing? Yes, let's be exact, please.
What I'm saying is that the old man may have been wrong about how long it took him to get to the front door, but that he was right about who he saw running down the stairs. Now, a murderer could have taken 35 seconds to wipe off all the fingerprints, get down the stairs to the place where the old man saw him, the boy that is.
This is right.
Well, we reconstructed the old man getting out of bed and going to the door, and we timed that. Well, why don't we now reconstruct the actual crime?
Yes, as well as we can reconstruct it.
Right, now I think a murderer could use up 30 to 40 seconds pretty easily at this point.
Well,
Yeah.
let's reconstruct the killing.
Yes, let's.
Okay. Right. Why don't you be the one that does the stabbing?
No. I'll do it.
Okay. Well, why don't you be the one that gets stabbed? Take a second to fall.
Alright. And he was found on his side, on his right side.
Right, so
So fall and roll onto your right side. Now, if someone hates someone enough to kill them, then don't you think it would be reasonable to suppose that someone would look around and perhaps the murderer would look at the victim for a second or two?
Trying to divorce yourself from this particular case, it's just human nature.
Yes, it seems reasonable.
But wait a minute. So the man fell and ended up on his right side, the father that is, but being stabbed is not the same as getting shot, even if it's in the chest. So the old man would have had to, the father would have had to writhe around a little bit on the floor while he's lying there kind of working it out, you know?
Well, I think that's quite possible. I mean, there would have been enough oxygen in the system to carry him for 2-3 seconds, I should think.
But wouldn't the father have cried out?
Oh no, but the boy could have put his hand on his mouth.
Well, that's also possible.
Look, there's another point we might bring out here. If someone is clear enough mentally to wipe away the fingerprints after murdering someone, well, that person is also clear enough mentally to look around the apartment, the room in this case, to see if there were any other clues.
Okay.
But it would only take a second or two, but I think he would look around.
Yes, this gets better and better.
We're just trying to make it clear. It's not a matter of quality when murder's involved. Well, let's do it.
About this on the fingerprints though, the boy wiped the prints off the knife. But what about the doorknob? I mean, if I saw a man coming into my home, a man I knew hated me, and he was wiping the knobs off with a handkerchief on his way in, I would start screaming. And I'm sure even a man would be uneasy. So the doorknobs must have been wiped down after the killing, not before. And that too would take some time.
Right. Now, you timed the last one. Why don't you time this one too?
All right.
Now, could you stamp your foot when you're ready for us to start?
Oh. I'm waiting for the hand to be at 60.
I'm going to kill you. Falling, writhing, looking at the victim. Now, the cloth. Fingerprints. Now, looking around the apartment. There are no clues. The doorknobs. And you would have wiped both knobs. Stop!
Right, 28, 25, about 29 and a half seconds, I'd say.
And whoever did murder the old man, and I do think one boy, still had to walk down the hall, down a flight of stairs, at least one flight of stairs.
See?
So the story of the old man, I mean, he may have been wrong about the time, but in view of all this, I think it's quite reasonable to assume he did see the boy running down the stairs.
So now both time sequences check out. The one that you did and the one that we did. So what with the running downstairs and everything, these times pretty much do check out.
Sure, he's an old man who wants attention. Look, he's probably be right, but he's like any other old man. He's just he's concerned because a life is at stake.
So the story of the old man may well be true.
Except that he absolutely swore under oath that it was only 15 seconds.
And we all agreed that it was 25 to 35 seconds longer.
You're now saying that this man is a liar in one case and tells the truth in another. Now, I do admit that this does tend to confirm the old man's story, but he is now, in case, a proven liar. And this is by your own admission.
That may be true that the old man lies in part, but I think it may change my vote once more. I'm sorry, guilty.
What about you? What do you think now? I'm not sure what I think. I wanted to talk some more. At first I thought he was guilty, and then I changed my mind, and now I'm sort of swinging back to guilty.
Well, what about you? What do you think?
I am now in real doubt. Real doubt.
I say guilty. I was right the first time. There you go. Now we're beginning to make some sense in here.
All right, so the vote is now about 9-3 in favour of guilty.
One more question about the old man. How many of you live in a unit?
I don't know what you are all thinking, but I know what I'm thinking.
What's that?
Well, I don't live in a unit block, but it is close. There is barely enough light in the hall to map out the steps. Nothing more. The light bulbs are so small, and this murder take place in a unit block, no? Remember how we stumbled down the steps?
The police officers were using big big bulbs. One even had a flashlight, remember?
An old man who misjudged the time by 24 seconds. We agree on that point, no? This old man looks down a dark hallway and recognizes a running figure.
He was 100% wrong. He underestimated the time. It took twice as long as he thought.
Then could not the old man have been 100% wrong about who he saw?
This is the most stupid thing I've ever heard. It's not out of thin air now. We're a hung jury. Let's just be honest about it.
Alright, do you truly believe there is no room for reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
Well, I beg your pardon, sir, but I do not think you know the meaning of the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand? Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? How do you like this bloke? He comes in here running for his life, and before he can take a deep breath, he's telling us how to live our own lives.
No one here is asking where anyone came from.
I was born right here.
Or where your mother came from.
Maybe we can take a few tips from the people who do come running here. Maybe they learned something. We're not so perfect.
It is alright now. I am used to this, yeah? Thank you.
It's not all right.
Okay, I apologise. Is that what you want?
That's what I want.
All right, if we could stop the arguing now, please. Who's got something constructive to say? Anyone?
There's something that's been bothering me a little. This whole business about the stab wound and how it was made. The downward angle of it, you know?
Oh, please, don't start with that again. We went over and over and over it in court.
I know they did, but I don't go along with it. Well, look, the boy's what, 172 centimetres. His father's 188 centimetres. Well, that's a difference of 16 centimetres.
You're just...
Well, look, it's a very awkward thing to stab down into the body of someone who's that much taller than you are.
Look, you are not going to be satisfied until we take a look at it again, are you? Do you know what? I'm going to give you a demonstration here. Why doesn't somebody stand up? All right. You ready for this demonstration now? Yeah? Okay. I really don't want to have to do this again. Is this about 16 centimetres? No. Okay, well, let it be more.
That isn't funny.
What's the matter with you? Calm down. Nobody was hurt, were they?
No one was hurt.
But look, that's how it goes. That's how I would do it. Down and in. That's the angle. How I would stab someone that was taller than me. Down and in. Take a look. Tell me I'm wrong.
Down and in. I guess there's no argument.
Have you ever stabbed anyone?
No, of course not.
Have you?
Well, all right,
Have
let's
you?
not be silly. No, I haven't.
Then where do you get all the information on how it's done?
It's just common sense, isn't it?
Have you seen someone stabbed?
No.
The boy was sent to reform school for for knife fighting, right?
Yes.
So look at this. Doesn't this seem like an awkward way to handle a knife?
Well, what are you asking me for?
Wait a minute. What's the matter with you? Give me the knife. Have you ever seen a knife fight? Yes, I have. In the movies. In my backyard, on my balcony, in the vacant lot across the street. Too many of them. Flick knives came with the neighborhood I lived in. Don't know why I didn't think of it before. I guess you try to forget these things. No one who's ever used a flick knife would have stabbed downwards. You don't use a flick knife that way, you use it underhanded. Then he couldn't have made the kind of wound that killed his father. I suppose it's conceivable the boy made the wound, but it's not likely. Not if he had any experience with flick knives. And we know the boy had a lot of experience with flick knives.
A lot.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Neither do I. You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What about you?
Listen, I'll tell you all something. I'm a little sick of this already. We're getting nowhere fast. Let's stop with this arguing and go home. I'm changing my vote to not guilty.
You what?
You heard me. I've had enough.
What do you mean? You've had enough. That's no answer.
Perhaps you're right, man. That is not an answer. Arre, what kind of man are you? You have sat here and voted guilty because there are a couple of theatre tickets burning a hole in your pocket. Now you have turned around and voted guilty for the same reason. You do not have the right to play with a man's life like this. That is an ugly and terrible thing to do.
Look, wait a minute. You can't talk to me like that.
I can talk like that if I want. Listen, if you are voting not guilty, then do so because you are convinced the boy is not guilty. If he is guilty, then vote that way. Or don't you have the guts to do what you think is right? Now listen! Arre, is it guilty or not guilty?
I told you not guilty. Why is that?
I don't have to! You have to! Say it! Why?
I told you I don't think he's guilty.
I want another vote. All right, there's been another vote called for. I guess the quickest way is a show of hands, unless anyone objects. All right, so all those voting not guilty, raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That's 9 for not guilty. Now all those voting guilty. And 3. 9 to 3.
Before we decide on anything else, I want to pull this together.
I'm advertising and I love seeing things all together. I mean, who knows? We may see a new pattern or something in there. Try it out.
I want you all to look at this logically and consistently.
I'm guilty.
I want to know, is the boy smart or is the boy dumb?
What do you mean?
I mean, this is a convicted knife fighter. On the night of the murder, he buys a knife.
Yes.
It would take a very stupid boy to go and murder a man, his father, with the very instrument that everyone would associate with the son.
You guys agree? He's dumb.
All right, if he's dumb then, why would he go to the trouble to try and make the kind of wound that an inexperienced man would make with a knife?
I'm not sure I understand.
To kill someone must take a great emotion, great hatred, and in the moment he would handle the knife as best as he could or as he'd been trained to. A trained knife fighter would do as he was trained, underhand. An untrained man would go overhand. But the boy is being very smart. He goes to the trouble of making the kind of wound that an amateur would make. This boy is very smart. Smart enough to wipe away the fingerprints, smart enough perhaps to wait until an L train was passing to cover the noise. Now, is the boy smart or is he dumb?
Hey, now, wait a minute, okay?
And the woman across the L track saw the murder through the L train. So somebody on that L train could have seen the murder too.
Exactly. But this, a very dumb man, a very stupid man, a man swept away by emotion. He probably heard nothing. He probably didn't hear the train coming. And whoever did kill the father did as best as he could. Now, this is a dumb boy who has done everything to associate himself with a flick knife murder. And then the next minute, he makes the kind of wound that makes us suspect someone else. And then the minute after that, he becomes dumb enough to wait until an L train was passing. Then he becomes smart again to remove the fingerprints. This boy, is he smart or dumb? To say he is guilty, you would have to say he is smart from 8 o'clock to around midnight. Sorry, he is dumb from 8 o'clock to around midnight, then smart for a few seconds, then dumb for a few seconds, then smart, then stupid. So stupid that he doesn't even think of a good alibi. Now, is the boy smart or dumb? To say he is guilty, you would have to toss his intelligence around like a pancake. There is doubt.
Well, I hadn't thought of that.
And the man downstairs, he absolutely swore it was 15 seconds.
Yeah, so the old man, he lies half the time and then tells the truth the other half of the time.
To make this boy guilty, you would have to say he is dumb, then smart, then dumb, then smart, and so on. To make this boy guilty, you would have to say the man downstairs told the truth half the time and lied the other half of the time. You can reasonably doubt.
True. I'm sold on reasonable doubt.
I think I am too.
Yeah, I wanted more talk now.
I want another vote.
Right, there's been another vote called for. Once again, the quickest way is a show of hands. Does anyone object? Right, all those voting not guilty, raise your hands. That's 9 for not guilty, all those voting guilty, and 3 for guilty. The vote is now 9-3 in favour of acquittal.
I don't understand people. How can you believe this boy is innocent? You know how these people lie. They don't know the meaning of truth. And let me tell you, they don't need any big reason to kill someone either. You know, they get drunk and bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Nobody's blaming them. That's how they are. You know what I mean? Violent. Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us. Where are you all going? Listen, these people are drinking and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed. They don't care. Oh, sure, there's some good ones of them. I've known a few who were pretty decent, but that's the exception. Most of them, they don't care about anything. They can do anything. You know them. What? Listen to me. I'm saying my piece and you guys should listen to me. We better look out, eh? I'm telling you, this boy who's on trial, well, don't you know? Listen to me. I'm trying to tell you something.
Well, I've had enough. If you open your mouth once more, I'm going to shut it for you.
I'm trying to tell you something.
All right. Sit down. Everybody. Well, I still think the boy is guilty of murder. I'll tell you why. To me, the most damning evidence was given by the woman across the street who claimed that she actually saw the murder committed.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
All right, let's go through her testimony. What exactly did she say?
Well, I believe I can recount it exactly. She went to bed at around 11 o'clock that night. Her bed is right next to the open window, and she can look out that window while she's lying down and see directly into the window across the street. She tossed and turned for over an hour. She was unable to get to sleep. But then finally, she turned toward the window at 12:10, and as she looked out, she saw the boy stab his father. As far as I can see, this is unshakable testimony.
But that's what I mean. That's the whole case.
Well, frankly, in view of all of this, I don't see how you could vote for acquittal. What do you think about it?
Well, maybe. I mean, there's so much evidence to sift through.
What do you mean, maybe? I mean, he's absolutely right. you might as well throw out all of the other evidence.
And that's what I was thinking. I mean, I don't deny the validities of some of the points she has made. I mean, shall we say, on one side of the tracks there is doubt. But what can we say about the story of the woman? She saw it.
My watch just stopped. What time is it?
It's 6:10.
Can't you see the clock without your glasses?
Not clearly.
Glasses are a nuisance, aren't they?
So, what do you do when you're lying in bed and you wake up and you want to see what the time is?
I put on my glasses and look at the clock.
I just lie in bed and wait for the clock to chime. My father gave it to me when we were married, my wife and I. It took us 10 years before we had a place to put it.
Do you wear your glasses to bed?
Of course not. No one wears their glasses to bed.
Well, what about the woman who testified she saw the murder? She wears glasses, doesn't she?
Did she wear glasses?
Of course. The woman wore bifocals. I remember this very clearly, and they were quite strong.
You're right. Bifocals. She never took them off.
Funny. I never thought of that.
I think it's safe to say that the woman was not wearing her glasses to bed and that she wouldn't put them on to glance casually out the window. And she's testified that the murder happened as soon as she looked out the window and then the lights went out a split second later. She couldn't possibly have had time to put on her glasses. I say the woman honestly thought she saw the boy kill the father. I say she saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Well, she could have been far-sighted. How does a woman know all of these things?
Does anyone think there is still not reasonable doubt?
No. I will always wonder, but I think there is a reasonable doubt.
Well, I think he's guilty.
Does anyone else?
No, I'm convinced now. There is a reasonable doubt.
You're alone.
It's 11 to 1.
Oh. Well, I don't care that I'm alone. Well, I have a right.
Yes, you have a right.
Well, I told you that the boy's guilty. Well, what else do you want?
Your arguments.
Well, I gave you my arguments.
We're not convinced. We're waiting to hear them again. We have time.
Well, okay, well, every single thing that came out in that courtroom, but I mean everything, says the boy's guilty. Well, take that stuff about the old man who lived there and heard everything. And take that stuff about the knife, so what if she found another one like it? The old man saw the boy, he saw him on the stairs. What difference does it make how many seconds it took? What's the difference? Every single thing. That stuff about the knife falling out of the hole in his pocket.
reasonable doubt in my mind.
And there's nothing we can do about that, except that hope that maybe sometime in a few months' time you can get a good night's sleep again. You're all alone.
Takes a great deal of courage to stand alone.
And if it is a hung jury, there'll be another trial. And some of us will give some of these points to the various lawyers.
It's not your boy, it's someone else.
Let him live.
We're waiting. Not guilty.
Not guilty.